to my fellow survivors. Welcome to another episode of Just Breathe Oracles. Today it will be more like a Just Breathe chats, but I may add some cards because I'm just very curious. I'm always curious of what the Just Breathe Oracle deck would bring out of the would give me on certain subjects. But today I'm going to be talking about the Braxton family. You guys, I'm a media girl. I always keep up what's in the media, okay? I've always been like that. I'm just really into that. I don't know, guys. So the Braxtons have been kind of taking over the media these days. And unfortunately, it's for some crazy, crazy reasons. And I was like, you know what? I have to talk about this because first off, let me just say this. I am a Braxton fan, okay? Tony, one of my favorite artists. I love Tony Braxton. I actually love Tamar as well, one of my favorite artists. I listen to both of their music. I'm a fan of the show. And like I said before, like when I'm a fan of a show, it's kind of like I get to know the family because I've been a fan of the family since season 1. So when you're a fan of a reality show that has a bunch of seasons and you've been watching since season 1, you kind of become a part of the family. Not physically a part of the family, of course, but just you know a lot about it because you've been keeping up with them since season 1. And that's how it is for me, for the Kardashians and for the Braxtons, okay? But yes, me being a fan of both the families and both the shows, it's really sad the toxicity of the Braxtons, and this is a Black family. When it comes to the Kardashians, they're very toxic, yes. But one thing about the Kardashians, they wouldn't dare tell each other's business. They know how to be private, okay? And that's one thing that sucks. They don't have to get. Of course, there's some controversy. Y'all look, let me try to use big words. Of course, there's some toxicity in every person that's a reality star because you do have to have a level of it to be successful because unfortunately people love toxicity. But one thing about the Kardashians is they don't have to, their brand doesn't have to be stemmed off of just toxicity. They have businesses and things like that. There is toxic shit that goes on with that family, yes. But when it comes to the Braxton, I think that it's like on a different level. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, they all toxic as hell. Okay, they all toxic as hell. So I'm not even gonna compare the two because there's really no comparison. Like I said, the Braxtons actually have talent, and that's what's sad about it is because they are a very talented group of women, but they're in the media for all this crazy stuff, and I'm just like, what in the world is going on with them? So we're going to talk about that, okay? And also, they just lost a sibling, Tracy, which was the life of the party, such a good personality, such a fun person, and a light to the show, has passed away. And they're supposed to be grieving her, but they're in the media for crazy stuff, okay? So I know Tracy's probably looking down like, this is not what I wanted, because the mom even said that Tracy wanted you guys to get along. You know, when she passed away, she really wanted her sisters to get along. But yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on with these group of women. So we're going to talk about that, you guys. That's what we're going to talk about, guys. So we're going to start off with the show. Okay, I've been keeping up with the show. They have a new season. It's not Braxton Family Values anymore. It's the Braxtons. And it's a show that they came out after Tracy passed because they're showing, like, you know, her last days. They're showing their grieving process and things like that. So this is one thing that I'm not liking about what they're doing. If this is all about Tracy, and I love you guys have for Tracy, I don't understand why they're treating Tracy's husband, Kevin Sr., like just crap, okay? I don't know everything the things that they said about him, okay, they're a little upsetting, but I feel like it's not to the point where you guys should be treating him like this. This man has been with Tracy for 30 years. That's decades, okay? Yeah, they went through their ups and downs, but they're treating him so bad, okay? I'm just like, she would not like that. She would not like you guys treating her husband like that. There was times in the show when she was going off on y'all because of the way you guys were treating her husband. And you guys are treating her husband really bad. And, you know, they're calling him a devil. And, okay, let me just say this. I don't know him or whatever, but I kind of feel his frustration because first off, his wife passed away. That was his best friend. He'd been with the woman for 30 years, married for a long time. Like I think they were married for like 25, together 30 or something like that. Yeah. But that was a big part of his life, whether he cheated on her or not, because they always like to they like to bring up the infidelity. All those women have been cheated on, okay? All of them. Okay? All of them have been cheated on. So I don't know if that's why they don't like them. I really don't know what happened. But I feel like none of it has been, did he threaten your mama? Like, did he beat Tracy up? Like, did he steal from y'all? Like, those are reasons why I would be like, okay, yeah, I don't want him around. But him cheating, if she accepted the cheating, if she was married to that man for 29 years, I don't feel like you as her sister should be treating her husband like that over some infidelity that she dealt with and obviously got over. To me, that's no reason to treat this woman's husband like a redheaded stepchild, okay? He's grieving just like you guys were. He loved his wife, okay? They loved each other. You can tell that they loved each other. He was always by her side, okay? That's what we seen. That's what you guys showed on the show. So I feel for him a little bit because this is where they're mad because he's mad at the family. And he's also having a little frustration with his son because when Tracy passed away, she left everything to the son. Okay, she didn't leave her husband anything. I'm not sure why, okay? But he probably is a little frustrated because he's just like, this is my wife. The family doesn't talk to me. I'm over here grieving. I lost my best friend. She left everything to my son. Now the son's not talking to him. It's probably a lot for him. I feel like he should have a little bit of support from at least you guys because you guys are a part of her. But you guys are treating him like y'all won't let him go on the show. Y'all get mad at the production because they're trying to get him and his son, okay, to talk. But you guys are kind of like, you guys are putting them against each other. You guys should be telling Kevin Jr. to talk to his dad. Okay? That is that man's only child. Okay? He just lost a parent. You guys should be pushing him to talk to his dad, but you guys are trying to keep them apart. And I'm just like, why would you guys do that? What happened? Something has to be missing because it cannot be. Okay, he had a funeral when Tracy didn't want a funeral, but he had a funeral. He said it wasn't an actual funeral. He said it was a celebration of life. But he had a funeral and she didn't. That's not what she wanted. Okay, granted, that may not have been right or whatever, but at the end of the day, that was his wife. We don't know what they talked about. Maybe he felt like he didn't want to just cremate his wife, and maybe he wanted to celebrate his wife. That was his wife. And you guys are saying that's not what she wanted. Okay, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't what she wanted. But at the end of the day, that man was with that woman for a long time. Who are they to dictate anything? I understand that was your sister, but that was his wife. I feel like he should have some type of some type of love. Just you guys are treating him like he was nothing, like he wasn't a part of your family, like he wasn't a big part of your sister's family. He was by her side when y'all treated her like shit. Because let's not forget that Tracy did not always like the way her sisters treated her. They called her the wannabe. Like they all had titles. They called Tracy the wannabe because Tracy always was upset that her sisters got a deal and left her because she got pregnant, and that's just another story. But when all that stuff was happening, when she felt abandoned by you guys, who was by her side? Kevin, her husband, was by her side. And I feel like y'all should think about that instead of trying to really defame this man's character as if he had nothing, as if nothing about him was good to Tracy, as if he had no type of leeway in her life. I think it's wrong. And the fact that you guys are kind of turning his son against him, to me, that's wrong. That's not looking good on y'all at all. They praised him for saying, I was born into this family. You were married into this family. They praised him. They smiled and chuckled because he said that about his dad. Because his dad is feeling a certain way because Tracy, I guess didn't leave him anything. At the end of the day, I probably would be upset too. I mean, that was my wife. I'm just saying that if I was him. Now you left everything to the son. At the end of the day, that was Tracy's. If he should be mad at anybody, it probably should be Tracy. I'm not saying he should be mad at Tracy. It's not the son's fault. All I'm saying is that nobody is seeing where he's coming from. They don't talk to him. They won't let him come on the show. Now his son don't talk to him. I can only imagine what he's going through. And these women have absolutely no care for him. Every chance they get, they're bashing him. And especially Tawanda. Especially Tawanda. I'm not really sure what's going on with Tawanda, but it's not looking good, because we don't forget, especially real fans of the show, that there was a one season you guys went to, where were you guys at? I think, it was some vacation that they all went as a couple. That was a horrible vacation. They all got into it. It was all arguing. Tracy was about to fight. The cameraman was about to fight her sisters. Her husband had to hold her back because she was upset at her sisters. And she called Tawanda a snake. She said Tawanda was a snake. So right now you're kind of proving what she said. Now we're kind of thinking, okay, maybe you are a snake, Tawanda, because what you're doing is not right. You're trashing her husband. You're making him seem like he's some type of devil. You're not pushing for her son and his father to talk to each other. If Tracy was alive, she would not want them to. She would want them to stick together, especially knowing that they're both grieving over her. She would not want you guys to be pushing for her son and her husband to be apart. She would not want that, and you guys know that, because one thing about Tracy is that she loved her family. She loved that man, and she loved her son. So what they're doing, I think, is wrong. I think it's wrong, and it's really crazy that. I don't know if it's because they need some type of attention. I really don't know, because what is the reason to go so hard about this? What is the reason? Tracy already made her decision, okay? She's already gone to glory. What is the reason for you guys to push this narrative so hard? It has to be for some sort of attention, I think, because it's not honoring Tracy, because we all know Tracy wouldn't want this, because we've seen a show, we've seen the show, and we've seen how she was with her husband. She was always with that man, whether he cheated on her, whether she cheated on him, because she said that she cheated on him too. So I don't know what the fuck went on, but all I know is that they never separated. Okay, that was her husband for a long time. So you guys are treating him like a redheaded stepchild, and I don't think it's right. I think it's wrong. All right, y'all might hear Blippi in the background because they done woke up, y'all. But anyways, like I was saying, I just don't think it's right. And a lot of stuff that's going on in the media with them, I think I'm gonna just go back to, like, I know I'm not a psychologist or nothing like that, but I feel like I just know a little something. I'm saying, in my opinion, I do. And like I said, I've watched the show since season 1, okay? And they tell their story. And one thing about the Braxtons is they went through a lot of trauma as a child, because they were a big family, 5 girls, 1 boy, okay? Their mother was a stay-at-home wife and mom, and their father had a mistress, okay? And eventually left the mom for good and married the mistress, okay? And that was a lot of trauma on that family, especially the mother. I believe that, I don't think the mother did it intentionally, but I think she definitely had a lot of hatred for the father. And I think that she definitely shared a lot with the children. You can just tell about the way they are, that it took a toll on the family. I remember there was an episode in season 1, I think it was called Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, and the dad came to dinner to be around the grandchildren and stuff like that, just to come visit the family. And the way the mother acted, it just was a lot of hatred. Like, they were arguing about things that happened years ago, in front of the children, the grandchildren, and the kids. Like, the mother never really let go of that hurt of him cheating and leaving her, I believe that took a lot of toll on those women. And they even say certain quotes that their mother have said to them, like weird stuff. Like, what was one of them quotes that Tamar said that her mother said? She was like, just little things like pretty much never trust a man. Don't trust a man. All men cheat except for Obama and things like that. Cheating is a big thing in their family. Like, it took a lot. It took a toll on those women's mind. You can tell, which I understand. I'm sure it was a hurtful situation for the mother. I mean, nobody would want that, Nobody would want their husband to do that to them. But I just think that the trauma wasn't only her trauma. It was the daughter's trauma too. And it wasn't like, it kind of seems like it wasn't that they lost just their father. It's kind of like they lost their husband too. And let me explain what I mean. A lot of them, I feel like she let them in on what happened to her so much that they felt her pain. And I understand, because I remember being in situations as a child when I felt my mother's pain so strong, okay? I don't know. I think maybe it's because I'm an empath. And when you're an empath, you feel, you take on to people's pain as if it happened to you. And I feel like they took on their mom's pain so much as if it happens to them. And I think that it followed them in their relationships, because just the way that they act is just like they go through their marriages with trauma, as if it kind of seems as if they're their mom. Like, they act like they're their mom. Like they hold that trauma. That's kind of how they act. And even I've watched the episode when they went on Ayala Fix My Life. Even Ayala said that this stems from the head, the mother. The mother always denies it, says, this is not me. I'm just a mother. I'm not a fixer. But I think that if their mom was to, I think she needs to apologize to her girls. I really do think, because it's the way that they're moving. They move as women with a lot of marital trauma. And I think that I can't really explain it. I'm explaining it the best way I can. But I think they need an apology from their mother. I think that I don't know if she's ever done it. I don't know. But I think she needs to sit her girls down. She always says they're grown. They're grown with kids of their own, grandkids. They're grown. Yeah, they're grown. But just because you're grown doesn't mean you don't have trauma. Just because you're grown doesn't mean that you're still not dealing with things from your childhood. That's everybody. Okay? And I feel like they need an apology from their mother, because they are living their life with her trauma. Okay? Yeah, they lost their dad. They did. But they're moving as if they lost their dad and their husband, the way that they act. And let me say this. They didn't physically lose their dad, because he's alive. That's still their dad. But I feel like the way that they act and move, I know it may sound harsh, but a lot of families break up. There's infidelity in a lot of families. You know, it would be a blessing and great if two people can stay together and kids can grow up in a 2-parent household. I wanted that for me. It didn't happen for me. Nobody could have ever told me it wouldn't either, because, you know, in my mind, my kids are going to have a 2-parent household. I just knew it, but you see where I'm at now, okay? But like I was saying, just the way that they interact with their father is as if they lost their husband too. Like, if you have a one-on-one with your dad, right? That's just your dad. I don't think you should have to talk to your dad about what happened in his personal relationship with your mom. I mean, it's a case that maybe I feel like, because I remember a while, I asked my dad, this was a long time ago, I asked my dad what happened between him and his mom. And the reason, him and my mom, oh my God, I can't even talk. Okay, I'm trying to do videos with kids up. But anyways, yes. I remember I did ask my dad before what happened between him and my mother, because I never really knew. And I asked him this when I was married, and I was realizing there were certain things going on in my marriage. And I realized that I was probably holding on to somebody else's trauma. Okay, because I remember I was always afraid that what happened in someone else's relationship was going to happen to me. And I remember just always having those feelings, scared, like having abandonment issues. I remember having abandonment issues in my marriage. I remember feeling like something's going to happen, even though it did. Okay. But before it even happened, you know, I remember always trying to avoid it and trying to block it out of my head, because I did have some of holding on to some of my mother's trauma that may have happened to her when I was a child, you know. I'm not throwing any shade, but I'm just speaking from experience of things that has happened to me, especially when I was married. I remember I did have abandonment issues, okay? And I just think that, so the reason why I asked my dad that, because I just wanted to know his side of the story. Because one thing that happens in Black households, especially when you're growing up with your mother, you only hear their side of the story. You know, because the dad is kind of like isolated. The dad's off doing what he's doing. The mother's mad at the dad. You guys are so attached to the mother. You guys just feel the mother's pain. You guys really don't. You guys just look at the dad as like, you know, the devil that broke up the family and all that. I just feel like it's always in the best interest to hear both sides of the story. I really do. So I just feel like when it comes to the Braxton girls, women, they're grown women, I think that they need an apology from their mother. I think their mother should tell them it wasn't right for me to instill so much of what happened to me and your father into you guys. It didn't have nothing to do with you. It was my marriage. Just because my husband cheated on me does not mean that your husband would cheat on you. Does not mean that that would happen to you. But she tells her daughters, all men cheat. She's been telling them this since they're kids. All men cheat except from Obama. She didn't, just because something happened to you does not mean that that's going to happen to your girls. And it did happen to your girls, but I feel like it's because that's what they attracted in. That's what they knew. That's all that they knew, okay? So I just feel like it was wrong to do that. Just because something happened to you does not mean that's their life. That was your life. That was the path that God put you on. That happened to you. That does not mean that's going to happen to your girls. So I kind of feel like that's what they needed to hear from their mother. And they needed to hear from their mother that, yes, that was my situation. That was your father. Yeah, he did what he did. But that does not mean that would happen to you. Okay? So as they lived their life, that's what happened to them. They ended up dealing with infidelity. Tracy was the one that was able to maintain a long-lasting marriage, okay? She was married until she passed. And I don't know if it's some sort of jealousy or just I don't know what it is, but some marriages can survive infidelity, okay? Some marriages can. I'm not saying it's the right thing, it should happen, no, but there's some marriages that can survive that. And Tracy had a marriage that survived that, so I don't know if there was some sort of jealousy with the girls. And one thing about Tracy is Tracy always kept a relationship with the dad. She was the one that loved the dad because that was her dad. She didn't take on the mother's trauma as much as the other girls did. So I don't know if that is where the disconnect is when it comes to, because there's definitely, even though, I'm sure they love their sister and, but watching the show, there was a disconnect between Tracy and how Tracy was and the girls. It was obvious, okay? So I'm thinking maybe she was the one that didn't take on the mother's trauma as much as the other girls did. Yeah, so that's how I feel. I feel like Tracy didn't take on as much trauma. And the reason why I say that is just because those girls will fight for their mom. And there's nothing wrong. You're supposed to love your mama. But you can always tell when the mom can really do no wrong in their eyes. Tracy was the only one that... I just remember Tracy, I don't think she agreed with everything that the mom did. She's the only one that I've actually seen on the show confront the mom about something that she didn't like, okay? That said something bad about the mom. I'm just going to be honest. Not just because she's your mom doesn't mean that she's not right. It will happen. You will have some siblings that feel like the mom can do no wrong, okay? And it's always that one sibling that does not like everything that the mother is doing. And I feel like that's how Tracy was. I feel like Tracy probably didn't like the way things was handled. She probably was the one that listened to the father when he expressed his emotions about the family. I mean, about his marriage. Because I remember he told the mother to her face that our marriage was not perfect, and I guess he was justifying why he did what he did. I don't know. But I feel like Tracy probably was the one who seen both sides of the story. And I believe the girls, they mama, which is, I understand. But it's always the one, especially when you have a big family, it's always that one sibling that doesn't agree with everything that the mother does and can have some sort of understanding for the other parent. And I feel like that's who Tracy was. And I believe that's probably was the disconnect between her and the girls. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I feel like Tracy was the one to hold down a marriage. I don't know. I understand things went on in her marriage. I understand she didn't have a perfect marriage. And Tracy was also the one who was never really famous. The other girls they were able to be in a spotlight and things like that. Tracy lived a normal life, She got a little bit of fame with the show. Well, none of them. The only person that was really famous for him was like, living legend, Toni Braxton, of course. But the other girls had a record deal and things like that. Tracy never really lived that life. She was just a normal woman with her man, going through marital issues like other women. Okay, she didn't live the life that they lived. So she just was a little different than her sisters. She was just a little different. Okay, so that's that. Tawanda, all of them, you can tell they want to be married. You can tell all of them want to be married. Toni is not married. Well, I don't know, because I feel like they have a thing. Toni, she had a relationship with the Birdman, and I thought that they were over, but when she talks about them, they're still kind of up and down. So Toni is in a relationship with the Birdman. She's just really private about her stuff. But yeah. Tawanda, she has a boyfriend. She wants to be married to him. I think he did just propose to her or whatever. Trina is married to Vaughn. She is married. I like her cooking show. I watch her cooking show. But Tamar. Okay, we're going to talk about Tamar, y'all. I got to take a breath. Tamar is a lot. Okay, that girl is a lot. But yeah, we're going to talk about Tamar a little bit, okay? In my personal opinion. Like I said, I'm a Tamar fan. I love her Calling All Lovers album. I could listen to that album all day. I'll be having it on full blast, okay? Raise the Bar is my favorite song. So I'm just saying, I am a Tamar fan. But she's a bit much, okay? So yeah, we don't talk about Tamar, y'all. So this is my personal opinion. This is just opinions, okay? Tamar is like, she's the baby, okay? She is very opinionated, okay? She has a huge personality. She's just a lot. You can tell she gets on her sister's nerves very bad, and she's just so outspoken. I remember on season 1, she used to always talk to her sisters about their relationships. I don't know if she's going through karma right now, because that girl can't hold. I personally feel like she should have stayed with Vince. I know they said there was some domestic violence. I believe if there was domestic violence, it's because of Tamar, okay? And I don't want to say that any woman deserves to get hit, okay? I don't agree with that. But I believe that if there was some licks passed, it was somebody in somebody's face, pointing, pushing, talking shit. I think that I don't think it was just some abusive man, bitch, I'm about to beat your ass because I'm just a fucking beater and I want to. I think it was some type of like natural reflexes or something. That girl's mouth is a lot, okay? Yeah. So I'm gonna just say that there's 2 men right now there was some, I don't even know who this man was, that said that he got socked in the mouth by her. Now he on the blog talking about he got socked in the mouth. This white man that's just totally not very nice to her, saying that there's so much stuff that he could say, but it's just a lot, And with Vince, I was like, y'all gonna sit here and try to convince me that Vince is a woman beater? Because Vince was so like, he just came across as very like kind of squarish. I don't know, maybe he was, but I'm not convinced that Vince was a woman beater. I believe that he may have some type of natural reflex, maybe because she's a lot. Tamar is a lot. So I don't know. But I feel like if she would have just calmed the hell down, she probably should have stayed with Vince, because he was the one that showed real love to her. These other relationships that she's got in after Vince has been crap. Vince is the only one that I've seen that showed real love to Tamar. Okay? She should have stayed with him, because the shit that she's going through right now, it's just crazy. Like, first off, her poor son. Okay. This is one thing that she does that I personally don't agree with. Every man that you get with, you shouldn't say that that's his dad. Like, okay, when you got with the one African man, David, the man that you got with after Vince, you say that that's your son. Logan has 2 dads and all this stuff. I'm sure you don't talk to that man no more, okay? Now you just was married to this white man for, I think they said 1 month, okay? You guys just got a divorce. And now you guys are on the internet talking about my son. You can still see your son. Girl, how many men are you going to call? That is not that little boy's dad. That white man is not that little boy's dad. Y'all haven't even been together for that long. And the little time you guys have been together, it's been a bunch of crap. Like, nothing has been good about it. Nothing. Like, he's been so disrespectful to you. Other women are saying that he ate the groceries. Girl, like, I gotta explain it. But Logan, you're exposing Logan to way too much, okay? David is not that man's dad. And that white man, JR, is definitely not that little boy's dad, okay? He got one dad, and that's Vince. If you was in a relationship where, that was loving and strong and, you guys, somebody that treats you right, then I can say, okay, then yeah, okay. But you are saying that these men are this little boy's dad. These men you tried to commit suicide in the midst of a relationship with David. These men don't deserve the title of being Logan's dad. Let them, no. Girl, the way that man treats you, I wish the fuck I would say, oh, you can come see your son. I don't even want to make this a race thing. I really don't, because I'm not a racist. But shit, facts is facts. That white man is not, okay, that little boy's dad. He don't even deserve that title the way he treated you. I cannot believe that you would even fix your mouth to say some shit like that. You need to sit your son down and say, that is not your fucking daddy. So don't even fix your fucking mouth to even say that, okay? Let me just start there. I don't like that she keeps saying all these men is that little boy's dad. That boy got one dad. And I believe if you're in a relationship, then, you love the kids. Yeah, but I don't feel like none of these men that you have been with after Vince has even deserved that title to be that little boy's dad. She needs to stop that. I don't like that. I just think that he's exposed to too much. That's just how I feel. Like, not every man that comes to in your life should be, I feel like it takes a lot. Like, me, I'm single, I would love for my kids to one day, have a father figure or whatever, but it's gonna have to be more than, it's gonna have to be a lot. To me, that's just, it's just gonna have to be a lot, and a lot of it is gonna have to stem off the way somebody treats me. Like, I would never just say this is your dad. Like, no, especially JR, the white man, the way the shit that's been going on between Tamar and JR. She should try to detach from him and just say, I wish you well, okay? But as far as my son, no. And then she says she loves the kids and all that. You guys weren't together that long. I just don't feel like they were together that long to be bringing the kids into it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having love for the kids, but just full on saying I'm your mom and saying they're my children. I just think it takes a lot, because why would you guys have the kids get emotionally attached and you guys don't even like each other? You guys are on the internet bashing each other. I just don't agree. I don't agree with that. I think she should stop doing that. I think Logan needs to, and another thing, I'm going to say something, and I really don't want to offend anybody, okay? Because like I said, I'm not a racist or anything like that, but I know Tamar she's not really friends with any woman. She only has gay males as her friend. There's nothing wrong with that. But you can just tell the way her son acts. He's around gay men all the time, okay? I don't know, okay? Logan is not my child. I don't know everything that goes on in her home. I'm sure he's a very nice kid. But I just feel like he needs like some masculinity around him. And I mean, I understand, and it shouldn't just be, I don't know. The way that he acts, you can tell that she has him around a lot of gay men all the time. And there's nothing wrong with gay men, but I just feel like he's just too young to act like that. I feel bad talking about the little boy, but I mean, shit, they're public figures, they show it. I just feel like, I don't know if he needs to be around Vince more. Like, I don't know, but I'm just gonna leave it at that because that's a little boy, but I'm gonna leave it at that. Tamar is a bit much, okay? When it comes to her, these are my personal opinions, I feel like she was affected the most, when it comes to her mother and her father's divorce. I believe that she was affected the most, and it's because just the way that she acts, okay, especially in her relationships. I believe that she comes across like she can be abusive, okay, in these relationships, because of what the men say about her when she breaks up, when they break up. I don't know. We've seen the way that her mouth, just we see it, the way she acts. It's just, to me, it's just a bit much. Like, she's a very, very outspoken person. There's nothing wrong with being outspoken, but she does not care about people's feelings, even the way she treats her sisters. I remember in season 1, when they were all at dinner, it was, I think, Tony's birthday. They was having a birthday dinner. She gonna tell her sisters, I will never forget this. She gonna say, you got a cheater, you got a computer nerd that wants to cheat on the internet, you got somebody that want to just live off of you, and you got somebody who can't hold down a job. And what I got, and she was talking about Vince, this is somebody that's totally different. I got somebody totally different. I remember she said that to her sisters. Like, they all got bums, and I'm the only one that got somebody that's worth shit, pretty much. Now look at her. I don't know if it's karma. I don't know what's going on. But I know your sisters probably, like, the shit that's going on in the blog, I know your sisters will be looking at you like, I know you probably wish you would have never said no shit like that to me. And I remember in a previous season, Tracy said that to her. She said, I bet you probably wish that you would have never said that to us, because look what you're going through. She says she's trying to change herself. She's in a lot of therapy. She's working on her mental health, which is a good thing, because you can tell that girl has been through a lot of trauma. Like, I don't know what's going on, but the fact that she even tried to kill herself, suicide, I don't know. She tried to unalive herself. Everybody knows that. And I think it was stemming off of the things that was going on in her relationship when she was with the African man, David. I believe when it comes to Tamar, I think that she's the one who tried to prove that she's different. Because I remember she said that she doesn't want to be like her parents. She said, I just don't want to be like my parents. I don't want to be like my parents. I feel like Tamar is going through life trying to prove that she's different than the mom, that she can have a long-lasting marriage, that she is different. I think she's trying to, prove to herself that the trauma that she's experienced with her family and her mother, that she's different. You can just tell the way that she let this white man treat her. He's really blunt with the stuff that he did, because she had beef with Tommy, which is a reality star. She had open beef with this woman, and he decided, when they were on some type of break, whatever, he decided to take the girl on a date and eat the groceries, because she went on the internet and said how he pretty much, we know what eat the groceries is. And this was a woman that she openly had some type of problems with, and that's what he chose to do. Even if you guys was on a break, you're not supposed to do no shit like that. That's just disrespectful. And then she revealed that she married him after he did that to her. So I don't know if she's just trying to really be in a marriage and I don't know what it is, but I just feel like those women have a lot of marital trauma, because all of it is seeming like it's stemming off of what happened to them when their father did what they did. That's just what it seems like to me. But I hope Tamar does, get the help that she needs. And I understand what it's like, because like I said, when I was married, I really wanted my marriage to work. And it probably could have been stemmed off of things that I've seen. And I probably did want to prove that I was different. But my marriage didn't work. And I just had to accept that, okay? But like I said, there's nothing wrong with wanting partnership. There's nothing wrong with wanting a husband. I mean, those are natural things that women are going to want. But it just needs to be healthy, because look what's going on. Like Tamar, poor Tamar, she's always in the vlogs. In the blogs. She's always having some type of crazy rant. There's always some really crazy situation going on in her life. And I feel bad for her, because it's just too much. It's just way too much. It's always something severe, crazy. She went on the internet and said that her family was awful. Her family is toxic. And then she took it back and said she was just, trying to play with everybody. But I believe she really do think her family is awful. And I really do think she thinks her family is toxic and awful. I think that's what she thinks. She said they were trying to destroy her marriage, that JR means the world to her. I don't know. Like I said, I understand because I've been through a lot of things as well when it comes to the whole marriage thing, and you really want your marriage to last, you want your family together. Yes, you do, but I just think it has to be healthy. It has to be healthy because when it's not healthy, things like this. I just think that these women really want, it's like they're craving for a relationship that doesn't end up in disaster. I think that it kind of seems like they're longing for, like I said, I think that they took on their mother's trauma, and it's kind of like they're longing for her relationship, but healthy. It's like they want to fix their mom's, how can I explain this? It's like they want what was taken away from them, which was, the family, because it really hurted the mother when their dad did that. And they're coming across that they really want what was taken away from them. And I think it's a healthy marriage. I really do think and that can happen. It happened to me. That I really, really wanted something healthy because of the trauma that I had experienced. And, like I said, my mother and my father were young when they broke up and things like that. But, you can't help how you feel when you're a child. You can't help it. So I think that a part of them is still longing for that healthy, happy family, okay? And I remember another episode of Braxton Family Values when Vaughn proposed to Trina in front of the family. It was Tamar's birthday, and she was so offended that he proposed on her birthday. At the end of the day, I guess people are really serious about birthdays. Me, I'm not. I wouldn't have took offense to it, but she was so angry. She got up and left. She called her sister a bitch. She said, "Fuck that bitch. I don't want to talk to that bitch." She was like, "Ain't nobody gonna propose on my birthday. Are you fucking crazy?" Like, she was really mad that her sister got proposed to on her birthday. And I believe Tracy's birthday was coming up. She was mad that her husband sung happy birthday to her. It's like all the attention had to be on her. She went off, So I just feel like a lot of it is like attention. Her being the youngest, she probably was affected by it the most because she was the baby. And her sisters went off and had their lives, and she was still stuck in that trauma with the mom. Because I remember she said that she was the last person to leave the house. And when the last, I forgot who she said left the house last, but when all her sisters was gone, she was stuck with the mom. And I believe the mom didn't get over that. She's still not really over it because she's still, when them dad's in the room till this day, she still has a mug on her face. So there's no telling what kind of energy and atmosphere Tamar had to be around when all of her sisters was gone. I believe a lot of the energy that her mom was still dealing with was placed on Tamar. I really do. I know how it is to be around an atmosphere when it's just sad and loathing, and you will, especially if you're some sort of empath, you will take on that. And I believe that Tamar had to, her and her mother is really close, like this to this day, which is nothing wrong with that. That's her mama. But you can tell that she still holds a lot of her mama's trauma. And that's just how I feel. Just the way they're acting, that's what it seems like. Tamar really, really wants a relationship. She said that all she knows how to be is a wife. She said the reason why she, it's just a lot of it's a lot, y'all. He, JR, which is her now ex-husband, the white man, went on the internet, said that pretty much saying Tamar has mental health issues and they were broken up and he didn't lead her on. Everything that she did was because she wanted to do it because they were friends, which is some bullshit. You obviously led that woman on, okay? We're not crazy. She, especially if you were her husband, I'm sure she really wanted you guys to work, okay? I believe he probably knew they weren't going to work because I don't think he really wanted her. I think he got a taste of that black attitude. And I'm not going to say black attitude because not all black women is like that, but I think he probably didn't know how Tamar could be, or maybe he probably just married her for, to be relevant because he wasn't relevant before Tamar. We didn't know who JR was. JR has 4 children with 4 different women, okay? And there's not good things that people are saying about him. Tommy said that when he did go on a date with her, he told her all of Tamar's business. Even if you were mad at Tamar, you don't go on a date with somebody that obviously don't like her, eat the groceries, and tell all their business. Like, what type of shit is that? That's just plain disrespectful. So I don't think he likes Tamar very much. I really don't. And for that reason, he does not deserve to be Logan's dad. And I hope that she eventually sees that and just move on with her life, okay? Because doing that to you, he does not deserve to be your son's dad. So she needs to stop that, okay? She needs to stop that. But JI is disrespectful, okay? And I'm glad. I hope she can move on and just, spend some time to herself, get to know herself. And if love is meant to come in her life, it will come in her life. But she can't just keep seeking for it, because look what's going on. Look at the energy that you're pulling in. Okay? I honestly don't know what's going on with Vince, but it seems like they need to probably reconcile, because he probably don't want her no more either, because I don't know, but I feel like he was the only one that I seen showed her some real type of love, and she felt from divorce from him. I don't even think he really wanted to divorce Tamar. But yeah, it's just a lot, okay? But I'm gonna end it here because I gotta start my little life. But that was my spiel, okay? And I am gonna do a Tamar energy reading, because I do want to know what the deck is gonna pull out. I am gonna do an energy reading on Tamar. But I hope you guys enjoyed my little chat, okay? Ta-ta now.